The second trumpet judgment in Revelation 8, verses 8 and 9 says, "The second angel blew his trumpet, and something like a vast mountain, blazing with fire, was thrown into the sea. A third of the sea turned into blood. A third of all the living creatures in the sea died, and a third part of all shipping was destroyed." The Roman Empire, after Constantine the Great, was divided into 3 parts. Hence, the frequent remark in Revelation speaking about a third part of men. The division of the Roman kingdom was made at the death of Constantine among his 3 sons, Constantius, Constantine II, and Constans. Constantius possessed the East and fixed his residence at Constantinople, the metropolis of the Roman Empire. Constantine II held Britain, Gaul, and Spain. Constans held Illyricum, Africa, and Italy. Now I want you to picture a huge mountain being thrown into the Mediterranean Sea, and what that would do. Not only destroying all those that are on the sea, but it would create waves that would destroy all the towns along the sea as well. And this is exactly what happened. The word mountain in this verse symbolizes a kingdom and is referring to the kingdom of the Vandals, led by their king Geneseric or Geneseric, whose navy attacked Rome from across the Mediterranean Sea into North Africa, the area of Carthage, from approximately 425 to 468 AD. In fact, Geneseric eventually made his headquarters in Carthage, North Africa, where he built ships and sailed out repeatedly, attacking Roman sea commerce, and waged war on all cities and towns on the Mediterranean Sea. Once again, John makes use of the volcanic symbols, which was used under the 6th seal. They are perfect symbols to describe the Vandals that ravaged the Western Roman Empire. Geneseric was called the tyrant of the sea. The English word vandalism actually comes from the destruction of the Roman Empire by the Vandals. The Vandals, having swept across the Iberian Peninsula, which is today modern Spain and Portugal, crossed the Straits of Gibraltar and began to ravage the untouched North African sector of the Roman Empire. Just as the Visigoths were known for their destruction by fire, the Vandals also were known for their destruction by fire. In 430 AD, they besieged and burned the city of Hippo, home of Augustine. 9 years later, they conquered Carthage in Africa and dominated the Mediterranean coastline of North Africa from Morocco to Libya. The Vandals, whose fleets roamed the Mediterranean Sea, attacked shipping and coastal towns and seaports. And after the Visigoths had sacked Rome in 410 AD and then settled in modern-day East and Southeast France, the Vandals also sailed up the river Tiber and sacked Rome again in 455 AD. Now please understand, when I use the word sack, I'm referring to the invading and short-term capture of a city, in this case Rome, where they robbed the city of goods and valuables by plundering and looting. It doesn't mean they stayed and occupied the city for months or even years. The barbarians, as they were called, were only interested in booty they could carry off. The islands of Sicily, Sardinia, Corsica, Majorca, and Minorca all fell before the Vandals, as in fulfillment of Bible prophecy. They brought judgment to the seas, ultimately destroying the Western Roman Empire's navy and seaports, whose ships made up a third of the Roman Empire's imperial navy, which was quite a feat in itself. In Revelations, this prophetic code word, mountain, according to Daniel 2, is a large kingdom. The example is used when the stone, which symbolizes Yeshua, strikes the feet of the image in Nebuchadnezzar's dream, and then becomes a great mountain, which fills the whole earth. And this symbolism is explained as Yahuwah's everlasting kingdom that will never be destroyed, a picture of the events of what takes place when Messiah returns. The mountain is cast into the sea. The word sea is a code word for multitudes of people. Isaiah 57 states, "The wicked are like the troubled sea." Isaiah 17 states, "Woe to the multitude of many people, which make a noise like the noise of the seas, and the rushing of nations that make a rushing like the rushing of mighty waters." Psalm 65 further clarifies this by saying, "Elohim stills the noise of the seas, the noise of their waves, and the tumult of the peoples." The prostitute in Revelation 17 sits on many waters, referring to its authority over many peoples, multitudes, nations, and languages. So this burning mountain is actually a condemned nation by Yahuwah in itself. And in this case is the nation of barbarians called the Vandals, used to bring destructive judgment upon the Roman Empire in the West. But these are divine judgments being carried out, and divine judgments are always meant to try and bring repentance. For this is the way Father's Spirit works, even in our lives today, when He judges us in this life for the sins we commit in this life, which judgments can be a form of restitution. For by our sufferings, forgiveness and atonement can be achieved. Geneseric's conquest brought judgment and affected a third of the Roman Empire from approximately 425 to 468 AD. I'm Bill Sanford, trying to put the book of Revelation in proper perspective in our day.